beautiful. Hello and welcome to the 6th and final part of the 8th Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway podcast. We've finally completed the journey we started back in part 1 in January. Rather than being fortnightly as planned, the 6 parts have taken some 7 months to complete, mostly because I didn't know how to get what was in my head onto the screen to show the construction of Sittingbourne Northern Relief Road. Anyway, we've now arrived back here at Sittingbourne Viaduct. This station hadn't reopened when I recorded the first part of this podcast, and so much is changing around the site and on the grounds of the former paper mill over there. We have a new silver tree up there with the communications equipment that replaced the water tower that was demolished last weekend over there. And also the construction of Morrison's supermarket, which is going really well over there. Before we leave the site, it's time to have a look at another podcast which I regularly listen to, in Onward Connections. Model Rail Radio is a live phone-in show on Skype run by Tom Barbalet, an Australian living in San Francisco in the United States. Tom felt that there was a gap in the podcast market for a live discussion program and made arrangements for this to happen. He hosts the program, which is recorded live, and he then edits it for the podcast. Amazingly, a recording session can last 8 hours and gets condensed to a 4 to 6 hour program. Because the subject matter changes throughout the podcast, it is easy to stop and come back to. The program has evolved considerably and exposed personalities of the model railway world to the rest of us. Regular contributors are from America, Canada, Australia, Sweden, the UK, France and many other places. There are fascinating discussions about diverse subjects such as S-scale, narrow gauge and tram modelling, known as traction in the States, and covers everything from scratch building through kit bashing to ready to run. It's not just about the models either. The state of the hobby, magazines, etc. all get covered. The accompanying Facebook group and email list sees a lot of personal projects being shared and discussed, and even our railway's president Bob Symes has featured on all 3 genres in a discussion about a programme which he made in the 1970s, which can be seen on YouTube. The visual podcast genre has been avoided because of the editing time and memory space required, but Tom and others share videos on YouTube quite regularly. This is my favourite model railway podcast at the moment, as I often listen to it when travelling between home and the railway, which is a 3-hour return trip. Anyway, well recommended a listen. The website is www.modelrailradio.com and it is also available through iTunes and the like. And that's it for the 8th Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway podcast. I would like to thank all the members of the railway for their help and support since our enforced closure back in 2008. I'm sure they'll agree it was well worth the blood, sweat and tears, and hope you will visit us for real, as well as coming back to watch podcast 9 for another virtual journey on the Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway. Welcome to the Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway podcast. This is a kind of behind the scenes look at how I do the podcast. I'm here on a Wednesday. It's unusual for me to get down on a Wednesday. I've got a board meeting this afternoon at the railway, so I thought I'd come to Sittingbourne first and do a pre-record. It's my clapper board, which we got, it says on the back actually, at Disney World, Florida. The point of this test record is to check the sound volumes. I'm actually using a microphone up here. You can probably see it on the camera, although hopefully not too much. And that's going into the phone, and the phone is doing the recording of the volume of the audio. I'm also using the video camera and the microphone on the video camera. I'm also doing the record there as well, so that I should have two sound sources. One's picking up a lot of background noise, and the other one hopefully is cutting it out and just giving me my voice. So I'm now going to finish the test, and we'll see how we get on. Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway podcast, don't even know which one I'm doing. Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway podcast, podcast 8, part 6. Hello and welcome to the 6th Sittingbourne and Kemsley. Done that one. We have now arrived back here at Sittingbourne Viaduct. This station hadn't reopened when I recorded the first part of this podcast, and so... Damn it. This station hadn't opened. Before we leave the site, it's time to have another... It's going too fast. More tortoise. The programme has evolved considerably and exposed the personalities of the model railway world to the rest of us. Regular contributors are from America, Canada, Australia, Sweden, the UK, France and many other places. There are fascinating discussions about diverse subjects such as S-scale, narrow gauge and tram modelling, known as traction, kit bashing, and covers everything from scratch building through... The visual podcast genre has been avoided because of the editing time and memory space required by... And that's a wrap. Sittingbourne Railway. My name is Paul Best and I'm the first officer. You're probably wondering what's going on. Hello and welcome to the Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway podcast number 6. I'm here at Kemsley Down in coach 626 in the sidings at the rhythm end of the station, and I thought it would be an unusual place to introduce today's podcast. Happy New Year and welcome to Kemsley Down. This is the 6th Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway podcast, and I'm recording this here at Kemsley Down on coach 626. Happy New Year and welcome to the 6th Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway podcast, recorded here at Kemsley Down in coach 626. Hello and welcome to the 6th Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway podcast. Happy New Year and welcome to 2011. This year we hope to see the reopening of the line between Sittingbourne and Viaduct Station. One of those. Hello, Happy New Year and welcome to 2011. Who would have thought, eh? Hello, this is the 6th Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway podcast, brought to you from Kemsley Down. I'm in the bar car at the moment. As you can see, it doesn't look like much for a bar. That's because it's winter and everything's been put away. This coach was recently used as the ticket office coach at Milton Regis Halt, and you'll see more of that later on. I'd like to welcome you to 2011. It's hard to believe that we finally got around to it. I'm going to start all that again, and I'm not going to bother with the New